Hey, how's it going, guys? Figure it's been a little bit since I did one of these contest community support videos, but this is a video I kind of wanted to do just to show my support to the other channels I watch. So I'm going to do 3 contest entries here, and if those people decide that since I'm lumping these together, they want to disqualify me, hey, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I got the support out, got the word out that the contests were going on, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go to the first contest. So the first one, he just put his video out today, I believe. That's for comics addiction. I think he's actually at like 125 subscribers, but he's just now putting together a 100 subscriber contest. He has a great channel, shows great books, and he has some really, really awesome Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie figurines that he always has as a background. So I am pretty jealous of those. So as you guys know, I like the Ninja Turtles. So the requirements for his contest, you have to be 18 plus and subbed, which, yeah, unfortunately we're over 18. And yes, I am subbed. Favorite movie, favorite writer, and a story example, and then name 2 more channels to sub. So I'll start with my favorite movie. So what I have picked is The Godfather, Part 2. Which obviously The Godfather Part 1 is it's a phenomenal movie, one of my favorites of all time. But the second one, I don't know what it is for me. I think it's just a little bit better. I really like Robert De Niro is Don Corleone, or Vito Corleone. I guess he wasn't the Don yet. And then just the alternating storyline between him and then Al Pacino's Michael is very awesome. If you guys haven't watched the first 2 of these, absolutely, like, what are you watching me for? Don't waste your time watching me if you haven't seen Godfather. Like, I'm serious. Turn off my video and go watch Godfathers 1 and 2. It's a long sit, but it's absolutely worth it. But for me, Godfather 2 is just an excellent sequel. I mean, I love Empire Strikes Back as much as anyone else, but Godfather 2 is the best sequel of all time, easily. But the whole thing, it's just one of the ballsiest movies I've ever seen. It takes characters from the original and has them go through motives and just make decisions that you wouldn't see coming in the first one. Absolutely. So like I said, turn on my video and watch these if you have the ability to, please. Great movie. All right, so next up, favorite writer and story. Well, I always have a tough time picking one favorite comic writer. I could always talk about like Jeff Johns or Brian Bendis, Brian K. Vaughan, but today I decided actually it's kind of a tie between 2 of them. But this is Gotham Central by Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka, with art by Michael Lark. So if you guys have not heard of this, basically this is a Gotham City focused book. But imagine like if there was a book about Gotham City that didn't focus on Batman or the Bat family. So the bare bones of that would be focus on the GCPD. This book is absolutely amazing if you guys haven't read it. There are about 4 or 5 centralized cop characters in the DC universe in Gotham that this book focuses on. And it's just absolutely amazing. Especially if you've read some of the stories with Renee Montoya in it, who eventually becomes the Question in the series 52. This is the origins of the Renee Montoya character for the most part. To kind of sum it up, she's basically a character in the police force. She is outed as gay by her co-workers and has to deal with all the discrimination against her after that and everything else. Meanwhile, there's another whole storyline. I believe there's a detective Driver in this book too, and he's investigating a murder at the hands of Mr. Freeze. And they're trying to solve all these crimes and prove that they belong in Gotham City along with Batman. And kind of at the same time, from a different perspective, clean up Batman's mess. Because some of the cops in the precinct don't necessarily agree with vigilantism. So definitely, in my opinion, a must-read of modern comics is Gotham Central. There's, I think, 4 volumes of this, actually. I think eventually it led off into mainly being Greg Rucka's book, even though Ed Brubaker's name is right next to his, and I'm not sure, you know, which writer takes credit for what. But I feel like it's both of their styles, especially with Michael Lark, who does a lot of work with Ed Brubaker, but Greg Rucka has a lot to do with the Renee Montoya character and eventually Kate Kane Batwoman. So really is a good collaborative answer. I'm sorry that's not the greatest, most clear answer on favorite writer, but I really want to talk about this book. I don't think I have on my channel yet. It's absolutely awesome. And I actually got this edition signed too by Greg Rucka. He signed it 2 cards from Protect and Serve Greg Rucka, so I thought that was pretty cool. He actually added that little bit extra about Protect and Serve. So great book. And then name 2 per channel sub. I'll name like a few. First off, I always like to name Metarog. He always has a positive comment for most of my videos, and I absolutely love the videos he does too. He always has quality content. He doesn't, like a lot of us YouTubers nowadays show newer books and stuff. He has a ton of Bronze and Silver Age stuff he shows. I don't think he really collects a lot today, but he likes to show and even go through like all kinds of like old storylines and stuff, and he'll even show like a series of old trade dresses that were on books and talk about that. And it's very informative. One of the most knowledgeable people in the community, deserves many more subs. KatRen Figures, she's always got a great positive attitude, has great recommendations on her channel once a week, has a consistent video release, so definitely one of my favorite channels there. And then I gotta shout out Poor Man's Comics. Like, he gave me like an A-OK that was just mind-blowing. He gave me a New Teen Titans #1 just because I commented in someone else's video that I was looking for one. He just gave it to me. So I gotta shout him out every chance I get. And then last one, Symphonic Elk. I mean, that guy has some excellent books. Like, he found a Gotham City Sirens #1 variant. I've only seen one of those in my life, and it's the one I bought off the rack myself. I don't know where he found that, but and then he had just a phenomenal subscriber contest a few months back where if you entered, you got a book. Like, that's crazy. So check out all those channels. They deserve double, triple the subs, all that good stuff. Next up, I want to talk about Comics with Bueller's contest. Well, another phenomenal channel. I mean, I could keep going on that name of the list of channels to sub, but definitely Comics with Bueller. And the person after that I'll talk about here in a second. They also deserve the subs. I don't want you guys to think that they don't. They obviously do. But anyway, Comics with Bueller has a contest going. I think 500. He'll definitely be way over that by the time his contest is over. But his rules are subscribed and live on the planet Earth. I think this is Earth. Well, probably. Don't know about the whole timelines and everything's based on the Brian K. Vaughan thing, but I didn't even talk to you guys about that yet. One day. Anyway, sorry to digress. So anyway, he wants me to show the best stealth buy basically I've ever had and my favorite 90 series. So I've showed this on my channel once before, and it still remains my best stealth buy. Batman and Robin 232, first Ra's al Ghul. Found this for $3 in an antique shop. I guess the person was just trying to sell off their dad's old comics. They really didn't want them anymore in their house, being musty and everything. So they just took them, put them with this collection they currently had, wrote $3 on the tote. Here you go. They didn't even sort through anything. So of course I was very excited to see this. But this is one of 2, because from the same vendor, the same day, I found this as well for $3. So New Mutants 98, first Deadpool, first not Domino, first Gideon. So there you go, $6 total from the same buyer on the same day. I don't think I'm ever going to beat this stealth buy. If I do, I mean, that's going to be insane if I do. But I think this was like probably the coolest thing I'll ever stealth buy, if you will, I guess. So don't know how I can top that, but yeah, this was a good day in collecting. So yeah, $6 for these 2 books. Absolutely awesome. Favorite 90 series, I have to go with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Absolutely probably my favorite series of all time. And everyone's out there watching and says like, oh, it's cheesy now, or it hasn't aged well. The special effects are garbage. The vampires on there were super weak, blah, blah, blah. That show for me had everything. I guess it just came at the right time in my life. I love this show. It's definitely my favorite show I think I've ever watched. And I had to show this cool Adam Hughes cover. And I got this from Poor Man Comics, which I mentioned earlier. So, absolutely awesome. So, there is that. And then the last contest I wanted to participate in today was Daz the Key Chaser. So, I've been meaning to do this one for a little bit. And, you know, life and work and everything else took over. And I just hadn't had a chance to make my community video, basically, that I like to do. But his contest actually ends June 14th. So if you're watching this today, it's June 4th. So you have 10 days as of the upload of this video to participate in this contest. And I basically just subbed to him about a month and a half ago, actually. And once he subbed me, so it was like a sub for sub thing, basically. But absolutely amazing person, awesome channel. Just cool to see that perspective from the other side of the pond, basically, of how he collects, what he can collect, and then, you know, what he's collecting with his son, basically. It's a very awesome channel. So he wants me to basically show 5 books. So I will start with favorite live action movie. So for that, I picked All-Star Batman #1, this awesome Jock cover, which for me, I know everyone likes that Joker cover. He's got that big grin as the bats. This might be my favorite Jock Batman cover. It's really hard to pick, though. He's got so many good ones, but I actually got that signed right there by Jock. But my favorite movie is The Dark Knight. I was actually lucky enough when I went to Wizard World in 2008 to see like the first clip ever released of The Dark Knight, like a mini trailer basically. So since then, I've just been like, man, that movie is so good. Which, as you guys have seen it, I'm sure. I'm sorry. I think it was Wizard World 2007, and the movie was released in 2008. But obviously, one of the best movies. Period. Like, it doesn't even matter if it's a superhero movie or not. Heath Ledger's performance speaks for itself in it, and I've always liked Christian Bale's Batman too. Even though the people make fun of the voice, I like the voice, so I can't complain about it, and it's fun to do. I won't do it here on this channel because I don't want to destroy my vocal cords, but The Dark Knight, favorite movie. Next up, favorite live-action TV series. This is a little tough for me to pick just because, like, for whatever reason, I've never been like, oh, that series is the best ever, perfect representation of the comic. I just went ahead and picked The Flash because I do really enjoy it for the most part. It is very cheesy and very CW at times, being on the CW network, but overall, I mean, I think it represents a comic book universe pretty well. I mean, it explores the multiverse, especially that season where they went to Earth 2. They did a really awesome job with that, I thought. Like I said, the last couple seasons have been a little iffy. This season was better than the previous one. But I really do enjoy that series. It's one of the few shows I still watch once a week whenever it's current. So my favorite live-action TV series is the Flash on the CW. Next up, favorite live-action movie is what I've got on here. So I actually have the movie to show and the book. So I wanted to show the movie just so there wasn't any confusion, because I don't know if a lot of people talk about this, but this Green Lantern Emerald Knights. This was released kind of in conjunction with that horrible Ryan Reynolds movie that bombed and killed the Green Lantern character for a while, ongoing as of this video recording. But this is actually a pretty good animated feature. It actually has Nathan Fillion as the voice of Green Lantern, who everyone actually wanted cast as the Green Lantern. Sorry, I'm looking for the other voice credits here. All I remember is Roddy Piper is also a voice actor for this movie, and it's just mind-blowing to me that Roddy Piper at that stage in his life was doing voice work on a Green Lantern movie. So I thought that was really awesome. But to kind of give the gist of this movie, it's like, I think 4, maybe more tales of the Green Lantern Corps, basically. So this isn't necessarily about Hal Jordan. I think there's a Kilowog story, a Mogo World story. There's just other stories incorporated in this, so it's not centrally focused on Hal. It shows you all different characters in the Green Lantern Corps, so I thought that was really good. So if you guys haven't checked this out, absolutely. In the book, I kind of picked an association with that. Was the first actual run of Jeff Johns' Green Lantern, small hardcover. So this isn't Green Lantern Rebirth. This is the first ongoing Jeff Johns run, basically. So even got that signed by Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver in 2010. So I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, absolutely. If you guys haven't checked out Jeff Johns' Green Lantern, like I said, turn off the video, go watch Godfather, and then the next day, don't watch the video yet. Watch or read Green Lantern by Jeff Johns, starting with Rebirth, then get this volume and keep going. It's really good. All right, so my next pick for live action movie has to go to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in 1989. So I forgot to bring the DVD to show, but most of you probably know what it looks like. Actually, if you look at Donatello back there, you can kind of see him. That's the movie representation of the Turtles right there. So he looks like that in the movie, except live action. So there you go. So for me, the Turtles movie from 89 or 90, I think I watched it in 90. It was made in 89. I think the Angry Video Game Nerd put it perfectly when he said that movie was like the perfect bridge between the end of the 80s and the beginning of the era of the 90s. Like, for me, it just represents that time so well. And it's still to this day one of my favorite movies to watch, even with friends and that type of stuff. It's great to laugh at, and you can kind of even watch it and take it seriously. The special effects, like the Jim Henson Muppet technology they used back then, is still, like, I think it looks better than the CG today. I think that's just my personal preference. I'd rather see something like that than CG green monsters like in the new movie. But need I say more about Turtles the movie? Like, I feel like everyone watching this has probably seen it, but if not, this is the IDW Turtles Collection, Ultimate Collection Volume 1. The first issue of Ninja Turtles is actually fairly close to what happened at the end of the movie, where the Turtles are fighting Shredder on a rooftop. Except in this one, I think they actually asked Shredder to commit seppuku since they best him, and unlike in the movie where Shredder basically just shreds through the Turtles, and it's up to Splinter to, you know, kind of taunt him and outfox him, basically. And that's what it shows volume, because I had a little quick Kevin Eastman doodle in it. So he signed it and did a quick little turtle doodle, so definitely wanted to show that. Then the last thing, I'll wrap this up. He says, show a book you would like to be made into a film, or I'm guessing TV series, just made into something. And I said this on, here's my plug for the second, Reviews from the Batcave's big live video podcast, if you will. They're going to start doing it every Friday, and I talked about Why the Last Man on that last one we did. So if you guys haven't read this, once again, watch Godfather, read Jeff Johns, and then after you read the Jeff Johns, the Green Lantern Run, go read this. This is definitely, I think I said this is my favorite comic book this side of the millennium, basically. So post-2000, I think this is probably the best run of any comic there was. Hopefully something better will ever come along. Well, we'll see. That's optimistic. But anyway, Why the Last Man, York Brown, last man on Earth, has to figure out how to survive in a world of women. The women are very empowered in that book, and he has to survive that. He's not like a big macho man. He gets his butt kicked a lot. And he has to basically use Agent 355 as protection, which she's a very badass chick. Do not mess with her. She could probably take Michonne from Walking Dead. And he has a funny monkey that throws crap at him. Issues 1 to 60, this thing, like I said, it's the best run of a comic I think I've ever read. So this absolutely, how this hasn't been made into a big blockbuster series, or at least the first part of a movie franchise, I have no idea at this point. I don't know what the studios out there are thinking. Warner Brothers, it's probably Warner Brothers' fault. I mean, it is a Vertigo, technically owned by DC line, so Warner Brothers is probably just sitting on this like they are the rest of the characters and not doing anything. So I'll end that rant there. I won't talk about Warner Brothers anymore. But anyway, I would love to see this made into something, anything at this point. And then I want to show this volume because I had a little quick sketch by Pia Guerra, which I met at the Wizard a few years ago, and she did that little York Brown for free. So I thought that was cool. But other than that, that's the end of my community support video for the day. Don't even worry about like, comment, and subscribe to me. Go to these people. Like, comment, and subscribe to them. They're all awesome. Check them out. They have great channels. So please, please go check out their contest. Participate in the contest. And other than that, thanks for watching me, and have a great day.